What's going on, guys? My name's Azrael the Black, and I want to take a moment for a quick disclaimer. The tone of this video is going to lean towards the negative. I don't like being negative. I don't want to turn this into a rage channel, and it's not my intention to incite a flame war. I don't necessarily care that I do, it's just not my intention. But if you're someone who's easily triggered or is having Anthem's babies or something, this is a video discussing what went wrong with the marketing and expectations surrounding Anthem, thereby accepting that Anthem suffers from crippling problems that can't be patched out. If you can't accept that, feel free to click away. This video isn't going to make you feel good about your purchase. Or, alternatively, stay and watch the video, dislike it if you want, and call me a cuck in the comments or whatever. The current state of Anthem is not something that should inspire confidence in the product. At the time of recording this, Anthem's Metacritic score holds at 61, with a user score of 3.8 based on 805 user reviews. And the reasons why are myriad. Technical issues that persist even a week after launch, frustrating design and mechanical choices, double the amount of loading screens, idiotic grindy story missions, and a dull, uninspired story that's so alarming to see from the likes of BioWare. Not to mention the disingenuity of the marketing campaign, in which the term demo was switched with the word beta, even though that's exactly what it was, which thoroughly pissed the player base off even before launch. This is relevant because most people, myself included, knew ahead of time that Anthem would not be ready for launch, and tried to inform people and help them make the critical decision to hold off on buying Anthem until it became a product worthy of purchase. But there are a few content creators that have taken what I perceive to be a truly dangerous and detrimental stance regarding Anthem and EA in particular. The EA Gamechangers program may have done more harm to the launch of Anthem and the gaming industry as a whole than we can know for sure. It could have far-reaching consequences and implications that we can't fully predict, and before you call me a conspiracy theorist, just allow me to break down my train of thought. I have always maintained that the gaming industry is the perfect little microcosm of the socio-economic structure of the United States of America as a whole. If you live in America, then you live in what's known as a democratic capitalist society. A democratic capitalist society is a complex concept, and I'm no expert. But to boil it down to the relevant elements, it produces an economy based on the free market and the financial autonomy of the consumer class. Basically, as a collective, the consumers in our economy get to decide which producers of goods and services get to survive, get to continue producing goods. Consumers do that by making the critical decision of where to put their money. There are a lot of producers of things that you need or things that you want, and you don't have enough money to spread it around to everyone. You have to pick and choose, so who do you choose? The one that best fits your needs. The one that best caters to your desires, the one that meets your budget restrictions, the one that makes you feel special. In short, the best one. Simple. You choose the best one. That producer of the best product gets your money, gets to perpetuate their business, gets to compete on a larger scale in the marketplace for more money, and gets to continue doing whatever it was that won them your purchase in the first place. It's simple, so simple. We do the exact same thing in politics with our elected officials. On some level, everyone watching this video understands the concept, but there's a catch. How do you know that the product you want to buy best fits your criteria? How do you know that it even exists at all? Again, simple. Articles, reports, reviews, ratings, all things that can indicate to you and inform you of what a product is, who produces it, what it does, and most importantly, is it right for you to buy? In a word, journalism. Journalism is a massively important part of a democratic capitalist society, to the point that such a system could not exist in the same state without it. Journalism informs the public, and an informed public affects the market, determining which producers succeed. Even just word of mouth is a powerful form of informative journalism. Now, there's a dark side to all of this. If you're a producer and you don't want to spend a lot of your own capital and resources and money and manpower and research and trial and error, and have inevitable bouts with failure to create and test and adjust and market and really only hopefully profit off of the product that people will actually like or want or need. What do? The consumers have all of the spending power, so how do you get them to do what you want with it? How do you control the consumer base whose spending habits are influenced by journalism? Simple. You buy journalism. Now, I want to take this opportunity to throw out another disclaimer. Many of the content creators who have flown the EA Gamechangers flag are creators I've watched for a while and that I truly enjoy watching. I know their channels underwent some growth with the Gamechangers program, and I'm glad for them, and I fully intend to continue watching them. I am in no way saying that if you like or follow or have subscribed to someone who is an EA Gamechanger, that you should immediately unsub. I'm merely expressing a perspective on the effect that they have had and will continue to have in the gaming market. To anyone who's been paying attention for the last year, the situation EA finds itself in is pretty obvious. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was an abysmal example of how out of touch with their community and with the trends in player perception EA really is, when they announced controversial loot boxes that offer a random chance to earn premium rewards, and playable characters hidden behind ridiculous earn requirements and paywalls. Fast forward to half a year later, and Battlefield 5 is revealed with a cartoonish and tone-deaf marketing campaign that depicts an unrealistic representation of a time period that we've come to expect will be emulated much more faithfully in our gaming mediums. The marketing blunders compound themselves when EA's chief design officer, Patrick Soderlund, told gamers that if they don't like it, they shouldn't buy it, implying that the majority of people complaining or criticizing EA are sexist in nature and don't want to see women in their games. Which I don't think is true, but even if it was, man, what a Bush League move to just come out and say that. So gamers didn't buy it, and Battlefield 5 sales tanked. Now EA is in the hole with investors and on the outs with gamers. And it's not a situation that they're experiencing for the first time. They need a way to get back on gamers' good sides for the launch of BioWare's newest IP, and they know that anything they say will be rejected by a player base that has been hurt too much in the recent past. They can't control the spending power of the public. They are missing a key component: the journalists. As skepticism builds around Anthem's impending release, EA recruits content creators, gamers, streamers, and commentators to promote their newest game. I've seen all the Gamechangers I follow claiming that they were never paid by EA to promote Anthem, and I'm sorry to say, that is false. The EA Gamechangers were paid by EA, not in money. No money ever changed hands, I'm sure. But that's not the only form of payment, and that's not the only way to get someone to do what you want. I know it, EA knows it. I'm sure on some level the Gamechangers know it, and you know it. EA paid the Gamechangers in gifts, things they wanted more than anything else. In particular, one thing that money couldn't buy: exclusivity, the chance to play a game before anyone else, to have content and footage and experience before anyone, to venture into an untested frontier, blazing a path for others to follow, to be part of the development phase of an industry that they love with all of their hearts and souls, that they worked hard for, that they sacrificed and went hungry for. That is like a hot meal to content creators. That is bread, butter, and chocolate pudding to content creators. And honestly, there's nothing there that I can find blame in, because I know that I would jump at the exact same opportunity. I would just do it with a bit more skepticism and a bit more integrity. Alright, so now we have a publisher in EA desperate for public validation, and wide-eyed content creators in the Gamechangers hungry for the next big thing and thoroughly incentivized to promote the amazing aspects of this game while downplaying or ignoring outright the flaws and issues until public awareness of these issues becomes so widespread that they have to say something ineffectual and neutered, like basic acknowledgement, while in the same breath praising the game for the incredible features that must clearly outstrip its drawbacks. This attitude led the Gamechangers to perpetuate a garbage argument that Anthem could not be reviewed or criticized by its performance all last week because it was in early access and had yet to fully launch. As I said, that's a garbage argument, because even in early access, you had to pay full price for the game. If I have to pay full price, I expect a full game with all the base features and content intact, and if that's my expectation, why would I not formulate an opinion that is informed by what I've received? Regardless, fanboys and lizard people took up the Gamechangers' call and have fervently defended the lackluster Anthem against any and all criticism, even going so far as to call out and insult creators who take a critical stance on the game, thus doing their part to shut down the conversation and, thus, hurt the industry. Remember what I said about word of mouth being a powerful journalistic tool? Well, if you shut that down, if you make it so that people don't want to be critical of games, then the public side of the industry, the consumers, the gamers, you, are left more in the dark about products you are being compelled to buy. And with fewer and fewer people to help you decide if you are wasting your money on subpar trash, the more and more likely you are to end up with a purchase that you thought you might want, but ended up being something entirely different because you didn't know any better. Or worse, it's devoid of any substance at all because the producer of that product figured out that they don't really need to try to present something fresh and exciting and new and substantial. You don't know the difference before you buy it, so why work at all beyond convincing you to buy it? The EA Gamechangers activities help to normalize the ineptitude and sheer anti-consumer marketing tactics of EA and other publishers like Activision. It erodes the trust that the player base has in both developers of games and the creators who perpetuate their lies and misstatements. It spawns an entire class of golem-like defenders of mediocrity and anti-consumerism. It perpetuates what I call the Destiny principle, whereby a subpar, half-baked mess of a digital entertainment product can still launch in an unfinished, wholly insulting state and kick its own turd down the road a few years until it's finally the game we've been waiting for, a full year and another $100 after it initially released. I said I don't want this to be a negative rage channel, and I don't. I don't want to leave this video in a place of negativity either, so here's a little bit of hope from the future. Anthem is doing poorly. Stay with me here, I'm making a point. Its user reviews are in the toilet, and its sales are projected by internal analysis to be fairly disappointing. People will analyze Anthem's failure, and will hopefully look at the lead-up and marketing campaign to Anthem's release. There, I think they will find how problematic the EA Gamechangers program really was. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the EA Gamechangers program will be denied normality and will not set a precedent for other companies to follow suit and ground their franchises before they ever have a chance to fly. After all, that's how democratic capitalism works. When the vocal majority of consumers tells the market what is successful, instead of the other way around. Guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I really mean that. It means a lot, and not just to a YouTube algorithm. I like being heard, and I enjoy sharing my ideas and perspectives with open-minded people. If you'd like to support the channel, there's an easy way to do it. Just click the subscribe button and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. That would be amazing and justify me making more videos like this more often. Also, I'm doing my own investigation into sponsorships for small-time YouTubers such as myself. I'll only apply to sponsors whose products I believe in. I have no interest in being a shill for a trash company. But if you have any ideas or know of any sponsors that might take a chance on me, please go ahead and share them in the comments. I would really appreciate that. That's all from me, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. My name's Azrael, this is Fireforge Gaming, and I'll see you next time. Peace.